Hello, I'm Bookface, and welcome back to another speed drawing that I'm very much looking forward to, and also very much despising. So here's the thing. First off, just want to comment, this is one of my most complex sketches I have done yet, and probably will ever do. May not look like it, but trust the process. So as you can see, I'm turning Arctiguana from Ben 10, the original design, because I like that one better, into a big old monster lizard creature thing, because content. Here's the thing. In some ways, this is a very, very important drawing that I did because there are some techniques I use that really shape how I do drawings in the future. On the other hand, there are many places where I colossally screw up and this thing looks like garbage. But that's what this is about. This is about the process, not the final result. You just want the final result. I've got an artful. So, we're going to talk about how I succeeded and how I screwed up a lot. One thing to start with is dem legs, very, very lumpy. I'm just gonna say that. Kind of really crowded together. There was also the pose. Like I don't usually pose things, but this one I made it look like it's on like the edge of some rock, which doesn't make the most sense, but it just like shows that it's moving around and can curl up on its own body. Yeah, I did these nice little. I don't know why, but something about the big lumps of eyeballs just going out of nowhere was kind of weird to me. Oh yeah, gotta trust the process. Everything starts as lumps. In the beginning, God made lumps, and then we were somehow formed. That's moderately sacrilegious. Anyways, yeah, I don't get. A lot of times, I don't give myself a lot of credit because I have very low self-esteem. But I will say, I really do go into the small details. It seems like every video I'm like, okay, gotta zoom in real close and get all those teeth perfect. Even though it's really not that noticeable from a zoomed out perspective. But I feel like the teeth really can make a creature look scarier, not scarier, a little bit like a hillbilly. All depends on how much effort you put into the teeth. I want to do very pentagonal. Is that a word? I think that's a word. Pentagon-esque. That word. Oh, is it time? It's time! So I started using the lasso tool. And for anyone whoopsie. I'm pretty sure I just tried to fill a bucket there, but I'm like, oh right, layers. So it just filled the whole layer. Yeah. So as I'm sure everyone else who does art would know, because I'm just dumb, lasso tool is really useful. Though I don't see people use it as much as I do, or in the ways I do exactly, I mean. Because, yes, I do use it for, moving and resizing things, but I also found out if you do a little outline with the lasso tool, you can then fill it in, and it won't go outside those borders, which can be very useful if you want to maintain the same shape, or if you want to, make one shape, but can't quite get it right, so you gotta go through a few drafts. It does have some faults. Oh god, seizure warning. I don't know what that was about. Anyways, one fault with mine specifically, and I think this might just be my glitchy computer maybe, I actually have no idea why. Oh, gotta shave off a little bit of that fat. Oh yeah, in case you couldn't tell, the black stripe in the original one was just to like in the sketch, was to show where the spine is, to show that it curves, because otherwise I'd have to use shading, and I'm not great at that. Oh yeah, and here's me realizing, oh no, I made too pure of a yellow, so I can't shade it. Here's what I'll do. I'll do the little sketch outline thing and use slightly less opaque black and white to shade it. And genius. And yeah, it was a little tricky. Oh yeah, this tool, I don't know what this is, but it's essentially, it just conforms right around to whatever shape you're holding, and then I blurred inside that shape, so it didn't just go everywhere, but also didn't just look like very hard line. What? I don't know what happened there. Probably somewhere in my random. Oh yeah, I was talking about the jankiness of my computer. Sometimes it just is possessed and will like pull the tool I'm working with out of nowhere, or will assume that I'm still clicking even though I'm clearly not. But yeah, these fins down the ridges I think are the best part of this, which I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. That might be kind of sad, but these ridges turned out good. Just because I feel like they all turned out a very nice shape. And again, it's just a way to carve. Like I could really carve these down, big lumps, into these very simple straight line things down the ridge. I think they give like a sense of movement or motion, like which part is the front. You know, usually the head shows that, but it like shows a direction. Like move this way. This is the walking way. We walk this way. We walk. I don't know. I'm really tired, man. I chugged a Mountain Dew and rewatched this drawing a couple times so I'd know what to say when I actually did it. It just made me exhausted, and I don't know why. Oh yeah, here's the little. I really like how the shading on those works. It really gives them like a sense of depth, makes them feel more 3D. Oh yeah, and I did these little gills, and I think Arctiguana. Yeah, Arctiguana has gills. I don't know why Arctiguana has gills, but he does. But yeah, iguanas don't have gills. They don't. God, with how some people don't know certain things about animals, it would not surprise me if the creator of this alien thought that iguanas had gills. Like, honestly, sometimes. Do you know a ton of people don't know that turtles are reptiles? I always hear that and I'm like, no, it's a reptile. And people are like, oh, is it an amphibian? No! I don't know why, but that one just really gets to me. Oh yeah, here I had the highlights to the things. But yeah, it's weird. Arctiguana does seem like a cross between a reptile and an amphibian. I don't know. I forgot about this part. Okay, so hear me out. Let's see, possessed eraser there. So I wanted to make a big ridge because I didn't want to just leave him with weird rounded off butt. So I gave him like a big, almost like a blade on his tail. Maybe it's a stinger, maybe it's sharp, maybe it's sharp. I don't know. But here's the thing, especially when I did that, it makes you question, so how is that lined up? Because it's not in line with the other fins that are like along the spine. It's yeah, I think my computer possessed me when I was trying to zoom in. Didn't possess me. Maybe it did. Here I'm trying to do a very rocky background, so let's get some filters in here. Any minute now. There we go. But yeah, I used this filter, like I layered a couple times, and it's interesting. Oof. Sometimes filters do a lot in here, sometimes they do very little. Like, it's a real hit or miss. And I think I've been doing a good job for the most part of not adding too many filters to my drawings, like as the actual subject. Background can be whatever. Background's fine. Who needs background? But yeah, so here's the little weird rock cliff. Oh yeah, I was also gonna Daniel Rockcliffe. Uh, don't you love my thought process? Yeah, I was gonna point out at the beginning. I think this is the only time that I've actually added part of the background into the starting sketch. Usually it's just the creature and that's it. Because background, I don't care what happens with the background. I just care about how the creature turns out. And here we're about to see my biggest mistake in this drawing yet. That still makes me sad and makes me regret my life decisions. Just wait for it. So if you'll notice, the back legs aren't entirely visible, which, I'm not a fan of. It removes a lot of depth if you only see one set of legs. Plus, I specifically made them to be very long, having like 8 whole legs, like big crawly boy. Oh, here it is. So I use warp to make them more visible, but look how distorted and swollen those legs are. They're so deformed and they don't work, they don't fit, they don't make sense. I hate them so much. It also doesn't make sense how he stands like that. Like, he should be behind the rock, but I didn't want to remove that from the drawing. Okay, jump the gun, stop my audio recording before it was done, because I forget we still have to do contrast, saturation, and all those other little filters. Remember I said I don't use a lot of filters? Yeah, this, oh, look how purple that boy was. Actually, kind of a look, kind of a vibe. I'm not lying. Oh, geez. It's always funny playing around with saturation. Well, and here we have our final result, which I call the Tundragon, because Arctiguana Tundra Dragon. It sounded kind of cool in my head, but it's kind of really hard to actually say it in a way that it brings forth everything. But yeah, like I said, because I'm going to be honest, not one of my best drawings. There's a lot of things I could have done better with, like perspective and just general planning. Like, I remember when I started this drawing, I had no idea what I was going to do. I was just like, hey, I'll draw Arctiguana. I'm like, but how though? Arctiguana is really one of those background kind of aliens. He doesn't really show up that much, so seeing what he actually looks like is kind of tricky in itself. But again, I still do like how it turned out. Like, the concept that I came up with, I think, is really good. It's just like the execution of it that went a little off. Like, if I could have just like planned it out, mapped it out a little better in the sketching, I feel like I could have easily fixed all of the, and even if I just like redid it with how I currently do my drawings, I could like, lining up that fin near the end wouldn't be too difficult. I'd just have to change it up a little bit at the structure. It would be really easy to change those legs, because like I said, the lasso tool is very useful, and I could very easily have just used that to move the legs into a more visible position without warping them. And ultimately, even though the shape was really off at first, I think it actually kind of worked out. Probably would have done a little more shading on the actual like whole body. You know, all I'll say is I've done a lot of drawings since this one, and I do think I have improved greatly. And, sometimes you have to look at the ones that didn't quite turn out like you like. My only regret is the fact that I love Ben 10, which is why I wanted to do this, and I feel bad that the first Ben 10 drawing that I did was not a very good one. But, you live, you learn. And, yeah, so trust the process. And there we go. If you like this video, please leave a thumbs up, comment down below, and subscribe. I have a lot of speed drawings coming in the future, so if you like these, just buckle up, I guess. And I'll see you next time. Bye.